I grew up in a haunted house. It's funny reading through these threads and seeing the mental gymnastics people will do to explain things. I was fortunate, or maybe unfortunate, in seeing irrefutable proof of my activity. The previous owners of the home had a 2-year-old child die in the house. Well, I would have to clean little handprints off of my mirror weekly. I was the youngest and my hands were much larger than the prints. It wasn't a one-off phenomenon either. Maybe a neighbor's toddler was sleepwalking at night, sneaking into our house, dragging a step stool into my room, touching my mirror, putting the stoop back, and locking up on his way out. Anyway, there was a lot more than that going on, but that's one that couldn't be explained by wind, or house settling, tricks of the eye, carbon monoxide, etc. My advice to you is to just ignore it. The more attention you pay to it, the more frequently the wind will blow your blinds open and slam your doors closed.
I never lived in a haunted house, but I did have strange things happening after my mom passed away. She said she would let me know she was okay after she died, and I truly believe it was her. Only happened for 2 weeks, then stopped. My girlfriend experienced it as well, so I know it was real. We had objects moved at night to different places. I woke up to a noise to see an arm floating through the door. It knocked over a card on a jewelry chest and the handles were shaking afterward like something bumped it. I literally saw a piece of paper picked up off a table, lifted into the air, then moved over 2 feet and dropped. There is no other explanation for any of it. Cats were not in the room to hit the jewelry box, no fans or AC on to move the paper. And yes, I was sober for it all. Then, all of it just stopped and never occurred again. Don't let the skeptics pour water on your lived experience. There are many mysterious things that happen that we don't fully understand yet. Energy cannot be destroyed. It only changes state. Just because we don't have a scientific explanation today doesn't mean we won't in the future.
My grandma was a force of nature, and I loved her. When my grandma died, the relatives locked up the house, and it remained untouched for 10 years. Hey, we're Italian, and we don't let go easily, except for regular bi-weekly cleanings. I eventually bought the house and started clearing things out because everything was exactly how it was the day she died. The first night we were in the house, it was hot as Hades, but my kids, teenagers, tried on Grandma's fancy robe, jewelry, and wiglets. They rooted through dressers and trunks. It was all fun and games until it wasn't. In the middle of the night, my 19-year-old daughter came running into our bed crying and yelling about the woman standing at the end of her bed. It seems it got very cold in her room, and she sat up to pull up the quilt. A woman was standing at the end of her bed staring. Beds were original to the house. We laughed and pooh-poohed her, but she refused to return to that room, so she stayed in our bed that night and many nights to follow. I did tell her that we were sleeping in the bed where my grandfather died, and she vowed never again to return. On the second night in the house, my husband woke up and asked who was in the hallway. Thinking it was one of the other kids, he got up to look around but saw no one. It was one of the girls in their robes heading for the bathroom. Except it wasn't. My husband, the nuclear scientist, decided it was just headlights passing by. My beloved voice of reason. A few weeks passed, and all was quiet, except for the middle of the night smell of brewing coffee and burnt toast, Grandpa's favorite breakfast. My daughter went next door to the cousin's house to let out the dog and returned with a picture of a family reunion. She pointed out my grandmother and said, "This is the lady standing at the end of my bed." She had never met her great-grandmother. I went down to the basement and chatted with Grandma, telling her that while I loved her presence there, she was